What is going on, fellow Sambarians? Today I was going to be putting a aftermarket steering wheel on the K-Chan here, my white KS4, and it's getting a little tired of the skinny little gray steering wheel, which nothing wrong with running stock. I think it keeps the look of the truck, but the way this truck is lowered with the wheels, I figured it needs a steering wheel to kind of match the vibe we're going with. So I bought this wood grain steering wheel. Now there is a deep dish steering wheel, and then you have your flat version steering wheel. I wanted the flatter version to kind of stay with the factory look. I don't want the deep dish like I have on my other KS4, more of like a drift Costco pizza with bitchin' sauce on it. Tell you what, it's pretty bitchin'. I didn't want the deep dish style steering wheel, which there's nothing wrong with it. I have it on my other truck. But the steering wheel hub adapters are about 3.5, 4 inches wide. So it is gonna push your steering wheel out just a little bit. So I figure if I go flat, it'll keep that kind of that same distance with the steering wheel. But if you're taller, maybe you got some thunder thighs going, that deep dish might give you a little more leg room. So you could use that to your benefit. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna be putting this wood steering wheel on. I just bought it off of eBay for like 70 bucks. I think I can put a link, but I did put a little custom OK Garage horn sticker on it, so that'll be a little more unique than the rest of them. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so to get the plastic horn cover off, take like a plastic trim piece, and up towards the front of the cover, you're gonna want to pry up, because it's like plastic. It's like a plastic nipple in a hole, and we're gonna want to pry that out. Okay, there's our plastic cover. That pops right off. Now, we will take the bolt off of the top, and then that's when we're going to get crazy with the steering wheel puller. Okay, so the top nut on the steering wheel is a 17mm. We'll take that nut off. You probably not want to have someone standing in front of you when you're doing this, because you're probably gonna scare them a few times with the horn. Alright, so get the nut off with the lock washer. Set that aside. Okay, we're back. I used to pull steering wheels with a like a crank pulley remover. It looks like that. Flat bar, about yay big. It's rectangular in shape and has 2 slits like a wishbone on each end, and I used to just use that. I think that got lost in the move up here to Washington, or I gave it to my brother or something. So I just went to the store and got an actual steering wheel remover this time. So that's what we're that's what you're gonna need. And you'll notice that there's pre-threaded holes in your steering wheel. So you're gonna need to put those into those threaded holes, and they're probably pretty nasty. And if you get the kit, it's gonna be the fine thread, not the coarse thread. So don't try jamming a coarse thread bolt in there. And we'll get that tightened down. But yeah, if you don't have a steering wheel puller, you could very much use a crank. I think it was a crank pulley remover. That will work just fine. So don't feel like you have to go get a steering wheel puller if you have that tool. does the same exact thing. I just want to make sure I get it kind of even. So we get kind of even pull. That's pretty flush. Okay, so let's see if we can Hercules this thing. Ah, nope. Okay, so now we're gonna slowly pull the steering wheel up. And I don't know if this is important right now. Again, I have not changed the steering wheel in a very long time. Make sure, I'm going to guess, so when I drive normally, the steering wheel is a little bit off. I'm turned to the left slightly. So I'm gonna kind of put it where I think it usually is when I'm driving straight. So tilt the steering wheel a little bit, and then I think that's where I'm going to set the center of the new steering wheel. So hopefully we can kind of fix that alignment of the steering. Oh man. All right, we broke loose. Probably don't need that anymore. Yeah, so we can take this off. But yeah, if you got a super wonky steering, this could be one way to correct it without having to change the tie rods. I mean, do the actual correct alignment way, which is adjusting the tie rods, I think. Setting the steering wheel straight and then adjusting the tie rods. I could be wrong. I never worked at an alignment place. That was not my forte. Although I would love to have an alignment rack. That would be absolutely epic. That with some tire machines and balancers. Then I can do my own stuff and not have to risk taking my stuff to Discount Tire or Le Schwab. Actually, I've never used Le Schwab. Discount Tire's been slacking big time. Discount Tire used to be good, but they are not good anymore. I used to work for Discount Tire, and I was the only one they would let do the Porsche wheels and the fancy car wheels because they knew I actually took pride. But they don't seem to take pride in anything they do anymore. Okay, so we're gonna pull the old steering wheel off, and we're going to take that washer out. Okay, and no offense if you work for Discount Tire, but I have not had any luck with them since I left. Quite frankly, I think it is very sad. Alright, so now we have our old steering wheel off. We're going to take our steering wheel hub adapter. Now this one is a OS 108, the Boss Kit OS 108. So it will fit the Subaru sandbars because it depends on the splines. Ooh, I just moved it. There are 3 plastic pins on the sleeve, and that's what we're slipping these into. Which actually, we could very much turn those pins and get it to where we want it to be. So let's try that. So if this is what we want to be top. So that's gonna put that guy, let's see here. Let's see if this works. May not work, I don't know yet. Let's see here. Yeah, we slipped in the holes. Our arrow top is pointing forward, and we're going to see if that actually works. And so you'll see that there's kind of like a little gap this boss kit will slide down. And there you go. She sits right up against the steering column. But let's put the nut back on, and I think we're just gonna put it on there, and I kind of turned it a little bit, and we're gonna drive it and see how we are on the angle, and then if it's off, I mean, we know how easily it is to take the steering wheel off, and we'll just go a couple clicks each time and try to reset our steering. Where the goddamn heck and what the heck and what the heck and where the heck and... Okay, we're gonna put our washer back on. And since it is, oh, never mind, push down. There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna put our lock washer back on, and then the nut, obviously. I don't want an accidental quick release going down the road. I would like a quick release on purpose. And speaking about quick releases, this is not, well, you could put a quick release on here, but it is gonna push that steering wheel out pretty far. So just keep in mind that this one is probably not going to look as good with a quick release on it, because it's just gonna push it up pretty high. Although we'll see what it looks like with the flat steering wheel. Okay, so that's pretty tight. Man, I hope I get lucky and put that thing on in the correct angle we want. That would be epic. Okay, now the fun part. Let's put the steering wheel on. So you just need a six bolt steering wheel. Basically, those are very universal steering wheels you can get anywhere. Off of eBay, Amazon. I just always go straight to eBay because your prices on eBay are gonna be much cheaper than Amazon. Make sure when you put this ring on, you'll see brushed aluminum lines. If yours is like a brushed finish, just make sure that the brushed lines line up with your steering wheel line, so it all kind of looks uniform. Take a wire. Actually, what's probably going to help is if we just set the steering wheel with one bolt so it doesn't keep falling down. And so the steering wheel that you got should come with some wiring. We're just going to take one and make sure that it's touching metal the whole time, so when we push the button it grounds out. Okay, so we'll just jam this wire in here because it should just be constantly touching a ground. So if we press the button, it works. Perfect. So theoretically that should never really move around inside your steering wheel. Unless you're doing some drifting, smacking walls. Okay, now start threading all our hardware in. Like I said, I don't want this to turn into a accidental quick release on the freeway. That could be muy malo. I don't fully tighten everything quite yet. I'll just get them in first. Just make sure everything goes in first so it's all aligned properly. Oh, here it is. I don't know how that got out there. Okay, so now I'm going to try and get this thing to be very much centered, top and bottom, because we couldn't put this ring in because it was hitting the horn. It didn't fit with that horn button. So I think that's kind of like a guide. So we're just gonna have to get everything lined up by eyeball. And I do apologize if my audio gets a little wonky. I'm not using like a mic or anything. I need to do some research on what's good. So I apologize if my voice goes up and down. I am no YouTube star, so I don't know how any of this works, other than I'm recording from my phone. It's pretty solid. Horn is working. Okay, that all looks like it's in line. So we pushed that sleeve down, so that covers up everything down below, so we don't see any steering column. Feels pretty solid. So a quick little recap. Stock steering wheel. When you go to pull your cover off, go from the front up here. You'll see there's those little tabs. Go from the front, pop those up. It'll probably hit the horn, so I don't know, maybe easier just to disconnect your battery until you get all that taken off. And then it's a 17 mil inside nut. And then you're gonna need either like a crank pulley remover or your steering wheel remover. Either one will work. I have done the crank pulley before, so I have tested it. You will use that to pull your stock steering wheel off. And then this hub has 3 little pin holes on the back that will line up with the pins on your stock steering wheel. And then that will slip right in. Make sure they go in those 3 holes, those 3 pins go into the 3 holes, otherwise it's not going to be sitting correctly. And then yeah, we're gonna go give it a little test drive and see how straight she is, and if she's not straight, I'll turn it a couple clicks until we get a straight steering wheel. But yeah, hopefully that made a little sense, and you can get yourself a sick looking steering wheel in your Sambar. Cool, take it easy guys.